Listen, let me tell you something that probably nobody has ever mentioned to you before. Women do not fall in love with the men who compliment them the most, nor with the ones who chase them, nor even with those who seem to have it all. They fall in love with men who know how to say the right words at the exact right moment. But here is the catch. Those words that every woman is dying to hear are things she will never admit out loud. Never, because if she did, she would lose that silent power she believes she holds over you. And yes, what I am about to tell you today, you will not find in any self-help book or in those typical videos about how to make a woman fall for you. This is pure psychology. It is what actually happens inside the female mind, even if they deny it with a smile. Think about this. A woman can receive 1,000 compliments a day, but only one of them actually sticks. Not necessarily the most romantic one, but the most emotionally intelligent one. The one that touches an internal nerve, the one that makes her feel truly seen. Because behind all the makeup, behind all that apparent confidence, there is something that the majority of men fail to see, the deep desire to feel understood. And when a man manages to make her feel that way, without exaggerating, without acting desperate, without falling into the game of being the perfect guy, she remembers him. She might not confess it, she might not show it, but believe me, she stores it in her mind and in her emotional body. That is why today I want to teach you which words, which gestures, and which truths make a woman melt on the inside without understanding why. I am going to reveal to you what she really wants to hear, even though she will never say it openly, and how you can use that understanding to connect with her on another level. This is not about manipulation. It is about understanding. It is about looking beyond the obvious and communicating from authenticity. Because when a man learns to speak a woman's emotional language, he stops being just another guy. He becomes the type of man she respects, remembers, and yes, desires. So, if you are ready to discover what every woman craves to hear but will never admit, stay with me, because what is coming could completely change the way you relate to them. 1. Do not tell me I am beautiful. Show me you understand me. Look, let me tell you something they probably never told you directly. A woman can hear 1,000 times that she is beautiful and still feel empty. Why? Because what truly touches her is not the flattery, but the emotional connection behind your words. She does not want you to look at her and say, "Wow, you look gorgeous." She wants to feel that you understand why she got dressed up, what she wanted to express with her look, how she felt when she decided to present herself that way. And here comes the part that few men understand. The majority of men speak to impress, not to connect. But a woman notices the difference. She notices when your words come from desire or interest, and she notices when they come from comprehension. She is not looking for another fan. She is looking for someone who sees her when nobody else is looking. Female psychology has a very particular way of functioning. When a woman hears constant compliments, she gets used to them. They lose value. But when she hears a phrase that touches her emotional identity, her brain activates a completely different response. For example, instead of telling her, "You look so pretty today," say something like, "That look in your eyes has something that makes me feel you are at peace with yourself." Do you notice the difference? In the first phrase, you only speak about her appearance. In the second, you speak about her emotional energy, and that, for a woman, is worth 100 times more because deep down, every woman wants to feel understood, not just observed. And yes, it may sound contradictory because many women upload photos, wear makeup, get dressed up, and seem to seek attention. But in reality, what they are seeking is emotional recognition. They want someone to see beyond the makeup. They want someone to understand them without having to explain everything. Now, why is this so powerful? Because in her mind, when you understand her without effort, she feels emotional safety. Her brain associates your presence with tranquility. You are no longer just another man trying to impress her. You are the man who sees her for real. And I tell you this clearly, when a woman feels understood, she lowers her guard. She no longer plays games, she no longer competes, she no longer protects herself. She allows herself to be herself. And there, my friend, is where real connection is born. But be careful, this does not mean you have to become her emotional therapist. It is not about analyzing her or trying to fix her. It is about active listening, about paying attention to the small details others ignore. When she tells you something, do not respond with solutions. Respond with presence. A simple, "I understand how you felt about that," can have more impact than any physical praise. The true power is not in saying, "You are beautiful." It is in saying something like, "I love when you speak like that because I can see the passion in your eyes." That does not just flatter her, it recognizes her. And here is the most interesting part of all. Women rarely confess this desire. They will not say it out loud because socially they are expected to be confident, independent, and not in need of emotional validation. But psychology does not lie. All people, especially women, crave feeling understood without having to explain themselves. So the next time you talk to a woman, do not focus on telling her the obvious. Observe what she does not say. Listen to her silences, her pauses, her gestures, because when she feels that you understand her without her asking for it, her mind and her heart will begin to trust you without realizing it. And that is where emotional attraction truly begins, not with flowers, nor with flattery, nor with money, but with genuine understanding. 2. I want to feel safe with you, not controlled. Listen to this carefully, because it is one of the most misinterpreted things by men when it comes to women. A woman does not seek for you to dominate her. She seeks for you to make her feel safe. And yes, although it sounds similar, they are two completely different things. Most men think that to be the leader in a relationship, they must impose respect, set boundaries with force, or show themselves as cold so as not to appear weak. But what truly makes a woman trust you is not your hardness. It is your stability. It is the sensation that no matter what happens, you do not lose control of yourself. Look, when a woman says, "I like a strong man," she is not talking about muscles or authority. She is talking about emotional security, about someone who does not react impulsively, who does not need to demonstrate power to feel valuable. Because a man like that makes her feel protected, not a prisoner. And this is where many get it wrong. They confuse security with control. They believe that being the alpha means making all the decisions, checking her phone, or questioning her every time she goes out with her friends. But ironically, that does not make her feel cared for. It makes her feel watched. And when a woman feels she is losing her freedom, her attraction turns off. Female psychology is very clear. Attraction is born from trust, not from fear. When a woman trusts you, she admires you. But when she feels you are monitoring her or trying to dominate her, she disconnects emotionally, even if she physically stays by your side. What truly awakens respect in a woman is a man who can say without shouting, "I do not like that," and maintain his calm. A man who does not need to control what she does because he trusts his own value. That tranquil energy, that silent security, creates a type of power that does not need to be imposed. Do you know what the biggest irony is? That when a woman feels free by your side, she chooses you again and again. Not because she has to do it, but because she wants to do it. That is the difference between control and connection. Control generates resistance. Security generates desire. And here comes something few understand. When a woman says, "I want to feel safe with you," she is saying, "I want to know that I can be vulnerable without you using me, without you manipulating me, without you judging me." She is not looking for a guard, she is looking for a refuge. That is why the true strength of a man is not in how many rules he imposes, but in how much emotional space he can hold. If she can cry in front of you without you losing respect for her, if she can talk to you about her fears without you disarming her with criticism, there you are building something most men never achieve: emotional security. Security is not spoken, it is felt. It is transmitted with your tone, your calm, your decisions, your capacity to stay centered even when things do not go as expected. Because when a man reacts with maturity, without unnecessary jealousy, without manipulating, without punishing with silence, a woman understands she is facing someone emotionally stable, and that psychologically activates her deepest instinct: trust. So do not make a mistake. A woman does not fall in love with the man who controls her, but with the man who makes her feel free and safe at the same time. She does not want cages, she wants balance. She does not want orders, she wants direction. She does not want imposed limits. She wants a man who knows how to mark his value without losing his calm. Because deep down, every woman looks for that man who transmits peace to her, even in the middle of chaos. And when you make her feel that way, it does not matter who else appears in her life. She will know without thinking twice that with you, she found something that cannot be bought or faked, real security. 3. Do not impress me. Make me feel special effortlessly. I am going to tell you something that will probably make you a bit uncomfortable, but it is the truth. When you try too hard to impress a woman without realizing it, you lose value in her eyes. And not because your efforts are not good, but because she can feel when you are acting from neediness and not from authenticity. Look, we have all been there. You have met a woman you like, and suddenly you start thinking about what to say, how to dress, how to make her see you as the ideal guy. But what you do not realize is that by doing all that, you are sending the wrong message. You are telling her without words that you need her approval to feel sufficient. And here is where female psychology comes into play. A woman is not attracted to perfection, but to naturalness. She does not care that you have flaws. She cares that you are not afraid to show them. What she finds irresistible is not a man who has everything under control, but one who is comfortable with himself even when things are not perfect. Because when a man acts from his calm, from his authenticity, from that silent confidence, something inside her activates. She starts to feel curiosity. She starts to admire that tranquility that does not have to be proven with words. And that is what truly makes her feel special, when she realizes you do not need to fake it to like her. Do you know what is most interesting? That a woman remembers how you made her feel, not what you did to impress her. You can spend money, you can use your best lines, you can try to seem like the most attractive guy in the world, but if there is no emotional connection, all that disappears as fast as it started. What makes her stay, what makes her think of you when you are not there, is that sensation of lightness, that with you she does not have to act, that she can be herself without fear of being judged. And that energy cannot be bought. It is transmitted. It is felt in how you speak, how you listen, how you look at her without trying to conquer her, simply being present. That is why men who seem to do little but achieve so much are not actually doing little. They are being themselves, without excess, without pressure, without expectations. And that, in a woman's mind, is a symbol of emotional strength. Because only a confident man can show himself without masks. Think about this. When you stop trying to impress, you start to connect. When you stop demonstrating, you start to influence. Because what really attracts is not what you do, but who you are while you do it. Women feel when a man is relaxed with himself. They perceive it in his energy, in his voice, in his gaze, and that tranquility has a brutal psychological impact. It makes them lower their guard, they stop analyzing you, they stop comparing, and they start enjoying what they feel. And ultimately, at the end of the day, no woman wants a show. She wants an emotional experience. She does not want to feel like she has to applaud you. She wants to feel she can trust you. And that trust is born when you stop trying for her to like you and simply allow yourself to be. So stop striving to impress and start showing your presence. Do not speak to convince. Speak because you have something genuine to say. Do not act to be seen. Act from your essence. Because when a woman feels that what you do does not seek approval, but is born from your authenticity, that is when she sees you for real. And the most curious thing of all is this. When you stop running after attention, attention starts looking for you. When you no longer compete, you become different. And when you stop trying to impress, you start to stand out without realizing it. 4. I want to admire you, not pity you. Let me be honest with you, brother, because this point needs to be said calmly, but truthfully. Many men have lost the sense of admiration that a woman needs to feel to respect them. Not because women have changed, but because many left off behaving like men in control of themselves. And this is not about money, nor muscles, nor shouting authority. It is about energy, about direction, about purpose. The reality is that a woman does not want to feel pity for you. She does not want to constantly hear how bad things are going for you, how unfair life is, or how everything goes wrong for you. Because when you do that, even if you do not notice, you are placing an emotional burden on her shoulders that does not belong to her. She does not want to be your mother. She wants to be able to look at her side and say, "That is my man, and I trust him." And note, this is not about faking strength when you do not have it. It is about not surrendering to your weakness. We all fall. We all go through hard times. But what differentiates a man who inspires admiration from one who provokes compassion is his attitude toward those moments. One victimizes himself, the other learns, gets up, and keeps going. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Many men today want love without deserving admiration. They want a woman to respect them without giving reasons to do so. But admiration is not demanded. It is built with coherence, with small but firm actions, with that calm that demonstrates you do not need everything to be perfect to remain standing. And that, my friend, is what most attracts a woman, a man's capacity to keep his center even when the world gets messy. Because when she sees you firm, not rigid, but stable, she feels safe. And when she feels safe, she respects you. Do not confuse vulnerability with complaining. Being vulnerable is showing humanity. Complaining, on the other hand, is renouncing your power. When you share your battles with maturity, a woman understands you. But when you turn every conversation into a list of frustrations, she disconnects. Look, and I say this with respect, stop seeking to be understood if you do not understand yourself. Stop waiting for a woman to save you emotionally. Nobody can admire someone who has given up on themselves. And yes, it might hurt to hear it, but it can also wake you up. Because the day you stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as responsible for your life, something changes in you. You no longer beg for respect, you inspire it. You no longer ask for love, you attract it. A woman can love a man who falls, but she will only continue admiring the one who decides to get up. Because deep down, what moves her the most is not your perfection, but your resilience. That quiet strength that says, "I am going through something, but I will not stay here." And I assure you, when a woman feels she is beside a man who respects himself, she automatically respects him too. Not because he forces her, but because his energy imposes it naturally. So if you really want to recover that respect, that shine in a woman's eyes when she observes you, stop complaining and start building yourself up, not to prove anything, but to feel proud of yourself again. Because a woman can love you out of compassion for a while, but she will only stay for admiration. And that is not achieved by speaking nicely or making empty promises. It is achieved with facts, with calm, with direction. Remember this. Admiration is the oxygen of female love. When it is lost, desire dies. But when you keep it alive with purpose and firmness, there is no distance, nor time, nor doubt that can separate her from you. 5. Show me you can understand my silence. Let me tell you something many men never comprehend, but that changes everything when you understand it. A woman does not always want you to solve things. Sometimes she just wants you to understand her. And beyond words, what impacts her most is when a man can read her silence. Look, when a woman stays quiet, it does not always mean she is okay or that she does not want to talk. In female psychology, silence is often a form of protection. It is her way of processing emotions, of organizing thoughts, of avoiding saying something that might hurt. But most men, upon seeing that silence, enter panic mode. They start asking, insisting, trying to resolve something that is not yet ready to be resolved, and without realizing it, they break the space she needed to feel safe. A woman deeply values the man who knows how to stay calm in the face of her silence, not the one who walks away without empathy, nor the one who pressures for answers, but the one who remains present, the one who knows how to look at her without demanding words. Because there, in that moment where chaos seems to take up space, she feels peace. And that peace is exactly what her unconscious mind associates with trust. The interesting thing is that when a man can maintain that serenity, when he does not get desperate to control the situation, he proves to the woman that he can hold her emotional world, not with force, but with presence. And that, in female psychology, generates a connection that goes beyond physical attraction. It creates emotional intimacy. Think about it. How many times does a man ruin the moment simply by not tolerating silence? Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is do nothing. Just be there. Do not correct, do not ask, do not justify yourself. Just stay calm and let her feel she can breathe by your side. Because when she perceives you are not afraid of her silence, she starts to see you differently. She sees you as someone emotionally mature, someone with whom she can be vulnerable without feeling judged. And that, my friend, is something very few men manage to transmit. In a relationship, silences are not enemies. They are tests of patience, of understanding, and of emotional balance. When you manage to pass them, you demonstrate that you not only listen to her words, but you understand her essence. And that is the deepest truth. A woman can forget what you said to her, but she will never forget how you made her feel when she was silent. If in that moment she felt calm, empathy, and presence, she will keep you in an emotional place very few have access to. So if you want to connect for real, learn to respect her silences. Not all need answers. Some just need understanding. Because in that space where she is quiet and you remain stable, without judgments or anxiety, the most powerful connection of all is formed: emotional trust. And when a woman trusts your calm, she no longer needs words to know you are with her. I am going to leave you with something that might make you uncomfortable, but you need to hear it. Women do not fall in love with the most handsome man, nor the richest, nor the most romantic. They fall in love with the man who makes them feel something they cannot explain. And that man is almost always the one who understands her mind without trying to possess her body. Think about it. You can have it all: money, style, attention. But if you do not know how to make her feel understood, your presence becomes empty. Instead, when you manage to touch her emotional world without words, when she feels calm just with your energy, that is where you stop being just another guy. You become the man who stays in her mind. And yes, it may sound controversial, but the truth is simple. She is not looking for perfection. She is looking for presence. She is not looking for you to conquer her. She is looking for you to comprehend her. So I want to hear from you. Leave me a comment below. Tell me your experience or your point of view. I will read you. And if I can help you understand female psychology better, I will. Because this is not just a video. It is a conversation between men who are waking up to a new form of real connection.